Call Spectrum. All right? For those of you out there who think that AI can replace human beings, okay? You're full of shit.
This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
Hello and welcome to the 216th edition of Lewis Black's Rantcast, entitled One a Day Like the Vitamin. Oh, yeah. Whew, it's a very snappy title, and we'll get to it. I suspect you already have some idea of what I'll be getting to, but it's more important to at least honor the fact that this week baseball came back, and my Orioles are playing again, and so a healthy distraction is finally out there. 160 some odd games that can take me out of the madness that continues daily, howling in the background. Sometimes right in front of me. It's howling directly at me. My hair flies, away almost. I almost lose my hair. What little is left of it, and I can't believe I'm saying that, because that is something that I would hear people say, and I say, that's kind of it. Why would you say that? Why would you draw attention to yourself in that way? And I don't know why I said it. But I just wanted to get across the impression, really, of the fact that it's this howling. And I'm so glad for the sounds of baseball, and the fact that for at least another 10 days or so, we have the or maybe up to this weekend when the Rantcast comes out, the Final Four. It's been great to watch, and another tremendous distraction. And some of the games have been some of the best basketball I've ever watched, some of the most exciting basketball I've watched. It makes a real difference to get caught up in this. My brackets, I will just say, once I should have published them so that you could have gone, okay, this isn't going to work out. Except this time, I really thought, for the first time in a long time, I'd watched a lot of basketball, especially toward the last 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of the I had the time, I had the energy, I had the inclination, and I wanted to silence the howling. And so I was watching all sorts of conference championships or tourneys, and obviously I learned nothing. And my friend Jody, who is, she did it by Catholic schools and her favorite colors, and she's leading. And I think I know what I'm doing. So we'll see. Maybe I do have the team that's going to win it, and I'm not going to let that out, because I don't want the gods that might be listening to smoke their chances. So we'll see. But in the meantime, interesting to see what will happen with Baltimore. They don't get a big deal with a pitcher. They don't do big deals. They let Santander go. We'll see how it works out. We like to just float there on the crest of the wave that's coming in, and then and everything that we could do not to topple over, we don't take those precautions, and we don't give ourselves a chance. But maybe this year, maybe he's figured something out. The general manager, who's really irritating me in a way, but they're back, and it's so less irritating and so wonderful to be able to complain about something that I don't really have control over. But in the end, at least what is happening isn't painful and isn't going to hurt me or my neighbors or folks across the sea, or my neighbors to the north and my neighbors to the south, east and west, wherever they may be. And I'm just thrilled that the baseball season has begun. One a day, like the vitamin. Let's get back to the crux of the howling. Every day, it's every day something comes out. Every day, doesn't matter. Toward the end of the day, the beginning of the day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. Like it's a vitamin, a super vitamin that we really need, so that we need to hear what it is, that how he wants the world reshaped in his image, how he wants the United States reshapes in such a fashion that it will be good for him. And just really to find out the levels of his power, because he has wanted this all of his life, and he now has it. and it has been handed to them. And no one, on his side seems to understand exactly what that means. Their idea of the rule of law has gone out the window. We live by the rule of law. We live by the rule of law. We live by the rule of law. It's important. That's why they're in place. They're in place in order to create what they're now calling the guardrails. Fuck the guardrails. They're there in order to make possible that we don't end up with a system that allows one man to recreate the world in his own image. And he's not only affecting us here, he's affecting it in Europe. He's going to have taxes on this 25% tariff. Or about a trillion tax, I don't give a shit. Nobody knows it. Once again, I repeat, basically people don't really know what it means. And he's going to throw this 25% on. But they'll know what it means when they try to buy a car. And I'm lucky that my friend of mine just was able to grab his off the lot before that comes to pass. And it's ludicrous. It's lunacy. It's just, there seems to be a balance in terms of the car world. There seems to have been achieved. They're making all sorts of foreign cars here. They're making some of our cars, and all sorts of them in Canada and Mexico. And there's an exchange going on, and it does not. And you're not going to bring back the auto industry. You're not going to bring back the auto industry. You're not going to bring it back by doing this. Okay, it's not going to happen. Find other ways to get a balance. Okay, because it's not coming back, and there's no reason for it to come back. And there are other things that folks can be doing. I truly believe that. They could be going to school to use this a bit more while they have to deal with AI and all the other things that are coming down the pike. And somebody yesterday, I'm just throwing this out in terms of the madness out there, said that, yeah, sure, they're throwing these people out of government, but, that's why we have AI. AI is going to take the place of those. They're people. AI does not take the place of people. All right? Okay, get on the phone. Call Spectrum. All right? For those of you out there who think that AI can replace them, can replace human beings, okay? You're full of shit. What's the proof? I'm on the phone with Spectrum. They ask a Siri, well, what exactly is your problem so we can get you to the right person? And they don't even say it like that, but it's what is your problem that, so we can get you to the right person, okay? I'm repeating myself. And so and I tell them, and they go, well, I don't understand what that is. Would you like us to check your internet? No, I don't want you to check the internet. We're going to check the internet. I don't want you to check the internet. But we really want to check I don't want you to check it. In order to get you to someone who can help you, and it starts again, the litany, to AI. All right? Well, their AI isn't as advanced. Fuck you, okay? I can do all the arguments in my head. It's ludicrous, all right? It's just ludicrous. I went off on a bit of, I saw that, the exit ramp there, and I raced up it because it drove me nuts yesterday. And what's going on now drives me nuts. It's one a day. It literally, at the end of, now we've got this, it starts with they're on with the signal people. They're talking about an attack, and they're doing it on I've talked about this last week. They're doing it on Signal, which is, a public means of, talking to one another. It's not it's, and then eventually the transcript is erased. But for God's sake, they have lines of communication that they are supposed to be on in order so that these calls are private, and they called the other guy up, and so now what do they immediately do? They immediately lied. Immediately. Oh, no, that was anything that really, that didn't happen. No, this guy's making this shit up. And then the next day they have to say, well, it did happen. And now they're scurrying around like rats. And all we're doing is discussing, which was worse, doing it or the aftermath, or the guy who told us that they had done this, huh? And should they fire somebody? Is that important? No, what they should do is realize that Peter Hedgehog is not qualified to be the head of the Department of Defense, nor it seems, or at least from my perspective, Robert Kennedy Jr. doesn't seem to be really a great idea for Health and Human Services. Okay, no, not for that department. He's going to cut another 10,000 out of that department, and the most vital being 20% out of CDC, Centers for Disease Control, because those are going away without any trouble. We don't even need people looking that up. And then he's going to get rid of 20% of them, and those who work for the Food and Drug Administration, both really vital and important, because why? They have scientists, some of whom he disagrees with, and he certainly has the right to disagree with them. Should he be running an operation this big? I don't fucking think so. And can he tell us how? Please just tell us how you're going to cut this and make it better by having them report to you, huh? All of the others who are still working there, which is like, I guess, 60,000, 50, however many are left. They're all going to report to you. They're going to type to you the things. They're going to tell you the 5 things that they didn't scratch today because they have the measles, because they've got the measles. He is, look, should you put a skeptic in office at that department? Yes, there should be a skeptic there. Yes, there should be someone who is saying that we can eat better and things can be done better in terms of the American diet. And there are things that should be told certain food companies who are packaging things just so that people are slugging this down so that they continue to eat it and eat it and eat it like it's an addiction. Yes, we should do that. Okay? But to hand over the Department of Health and Human Services to a man who's never operated anything of that size or magnitude, forget it. It's ludicrous. Stop it. And there's nothing on his resume to recommend him as anything more than as a skeptic. And he has done things that have really been huge errors in terms of the community, our community, and I believe in Samoa. But I'm not going to go and look it up right now because there's too much. I can only kind of throw this stuff out and hope that I'm serving some sort of purpose for you out there, because there's don't look. Ignore the man behind the curtain. And when you're finished, while you're trying to ignore him because he can't shut the fuck up, the great and powerful, you've got to. What's occurring just behind him is staggering on a daily level, and on a daily basis. God, where do these words come from? Now they just pop out of my head. The toaster rips a word out and it comes right out of my mouth like an idiot. But at least I say I'm an idiot. They should have apologized immediately. They just should have said, we're really sorry about this big mistake. And they might have snuck out of this, but what was truly, once again, ineptitude. And they put in people who are inept. Okay? And that's the reason he wants to secure the borders, because the level of security that we have right now is you saw it. Just let anybody on the line. We're going to use a public access if somebody can get on here, and so we've got to stop them from coming over the borders. That we can at least control. We can grab them here in the United States. Yes, we can. We can grab them. We can send them to El Salvador. When did that happen? There are laws. There are laws. There are laws. Huh? All those fucking lawyers in Congress, there are laws. You don't scream at a judge for doing his duty. That's why they're there. Yeah, a judge can say, hey, the judge is not ruling against you. He's ruling because the law says that you have made a mistake, that you have pushed the boundaries of your office too far. Huh? All this stuff is simple. Stop obfuscating it, all right? All right? And I can't believe that came out of my mouth, all righty? But stop it, okay? And don't hound somebody for doing their job. Do your job, All right? Stay on top of it. Boy, and and you certainly are, because now we're going to have something very exciting. Corporate sponsorship of the Easter egg roll. Corporate sponsorship of the Easter egg roll. It was probably just moments away. The Egg Council of America used to do that, but they're charging too much for eggs. And they never really got their due. They never got the kind of press. I didn't even know it was the Egg Council. I would have figured if I was probably asked it on a quiz, but you're going to get corporate sponsors. And I wish I had the numbers again. Son of a bitch. It's like up to 70,000, 20,000 gets you this, 50,000, 70,000 gets you a lunch with Melania and all the eggs you can eat, 150 tickets. It'll get your name out there. It'll get your name because it'll be on the White House lawn, just like Tesla, because we are becoming what? A corporation and government. They're humping away. That's what's going on now. They're humping and humping and humping. And there'll be a new baby. I don't know if it'll be called, what it'll be called. Core Gov, GovCore, Corpus. I have no idea. Corporate government. I don't know. But the government is supposed to basically make sure that business doesn't fuck us. That's part of the deal. All right? They're supposed to keep some sort of control on them, right? Is there too much regulation? Yeah, there's too much regulation. We all know there's too much regulation. New York has a massive amount. There's a crippling amount out in California. We know that, okay? That's a given. Go through that, clip that out. But should we be goddamn sure that business can only go so far, that business, put it simply, can't fuck us, all right? That's why you have people in the FDA, so they can check things. All right? They don't even check the supplements we have. Okay? They just, okay, it's not approved by the FDA. That's what they do. They get somebody who says, I'm not approving it. Okay? But one might want to know, one shouldn't leave it up to the general public to test if there's sawdust in their supplement. But that's what's going on. All sorts of shit is being put into supplements. And now he got, pot as a supplement. Is anybody really checking that outside of the state? I don't know. Who knows? So let's not. That's why the government is there, huh? It's a big reason, is to make sure that we, the people, are protected, and that those who deserve to be advanced, in no matter what their race, creed, or color is. Should be allowed to go forth, and getting rid of DEI doesn't get rid of that. Okay, stop it. All right, because we're not there. Okay, is that too woke? Fuck it. We're not there. Okay, and by doing what they're doing, they're pushing back they're pushing it back. They're basically, let's get rid of the Department of Education, so that all of the things, all of the steps that we've taken, let's get rid of history. Let's get rid of, let's bring Confederate soldiers back and put their statues up against, and let's rename things so that they're named after those people, so that so everybody can remember that history. That's the history you want to remember. The real history you don't want to remember. We're going to argue about that. Listen to me. I am. I feel like a quilt of ideas that's just falling apart. I feel like a quilt, and all of the threads are now spread about here in my cable access studio. All right, boy, I wish I could really make this. I can't, but the stuff literally hits me like a wave. And is he the elephant in the room? He's the elephant sitting on our face in the room. Okay. And we cannot breathe anything but the two big cheeks that are sitting down right on our face on a daily basis. And then we can just hear out of our ears as he honks another goddamn proclamation. Wow. He's stripping words. This is another proclamation. They're stripping words like climate crisis, because that's fine. Diversity, because you wouldn't want that. You don't want these words in government communications. Got it? Government communications. These words they do not want there. Climate crisis, diversity, health disparity, peanut allergies. What? Why? Who cares? Huh? Because they don't exist? They exist, apparently. So the people comply and get their peanuts to be sure. And make sure you get your peanuts on every flight, because we will not mention peanut allergies again, and it will therefore disappear. There's ways to get rid of peanut allergies now, at least I've read about it. Science-based, science-based, science-based. What a terrible word, huh? Yeah, granted, did science make some mistakes during the pandemic? Sure, okay? But they're the ones who were the closest to actually dealing with it, to dealing what the problem is, all right? And it was totally something that was going on. It hadn't occurred since 1917 or 18, when who I am named after died. My grandfather, all right? My father's father, he died during that first one, okay? And I thought for a while I was going to die during the second one, because I was named after him. I thought, wouldn't, and then they would write, oh, and meanwhile, much like his grandfather who died during the first pandemic. We learn stuff. Hopefully we move forward. But to have broken down over the fact that these scientists, and then to go, okay, we're not listening to them anymore. Son of a bitch, okay? They work harder. In the sense that they put in the time, the energy, and the effort, and they experiment in order to make sure that that people do not suffer, okay? Or to discover why something happens, or to get a better understanding of our planet, and to really figure out if there is a climate problem, all right? And I believe there is. Segregation is being cut, that word. See, I look at this. All I do now is see an off-ramp, and I race to get to the rest area. Segregation, get rid of that word, because no one is segregating this, so that they can get rid of the word, and then people can segregate. And they go, what do we call that again? What was the word we used for when whites were here and blacks were here and Asians were here, and we all lived in a variety of different communities that in which just those of us are the same. Really, what is that word? Stereotypes, and that's gone. There's certainly none. And understudied. I don't understand why that, and it's understudied, one word. If somebody can help me with that, I'd really appreciate it. Also, I forgot it because it's sitting right in front of me, that Kennedy is cutting research in vaccinations because he doesn't believe in vaccinations. Meanwhile, we've gone down the road with vaccinations. I had I know this is frightening for many of you. I had another COVID booster shot yesterday because I'm 75, and I don't particularly want to get it. Why? Because I have an underlying condition and if I was hit with a really bad case of COVID, I could die. That's it. That's simple. Not asking you to. I just have to do it. And now they're thinking of getting rid of flu shot. No research, cutting research. Maybe they'll do some. Whatever he thinks should be what we do. I think I'm almost, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then that graduate student from Tufts, all right? Graduate student, walking on campus, I believe. I'm not sure, or near it, grabbed by ICE agents who were not showing any, didn't say ICE, wearing hoodies, which, would freak anybody out. This young girl must have been completely in panic. She may have had some idea because of the way things are now, but I doubt it. To be jumped by them and then hauled off from Massachusetts to New Orleans without seeing a lawyer, without any due process. Okay, you have to do this. Crimes have not been committed. All right, find out if the crime was committed. Is she really out there inspiring Hamas? Is she fundraising for them? Is she sending them weaponry? Is she involved with sending them weaponry? Is she telling others to send weaponry? Is she part of a chain of folks? No. She basically wrote what appears to be, and is certainly, we're all kind of stuck because they have not really investigated it. She wrote an article in support of the Palestinian people and saw what was happening there, and in terms of Israel and the way in which what they were doing and what was happening there, and as they went in and basically systematically they killed a ton of people. All right, killed a ton of people. She protested that, and she had every right to. Absolutely, I protest it. Okay, I've always said, I'm not going to go into what I think. That's what she did. Till we have any other proof, they don't seem to have to prove it. They got the other guy, the kid from who spoke at Columbia, here on it, and both of them were on. One was on a student visa, the girl up at Tufts, going for a doctorate. Not in terms of building bombs. I'll find out. Maybe I'll let you know the next time. And the other guy, Mahood, he also had the rights to be in this country, and they shipped him off to New Orleans. And they're not there for Mardi Gras. That's why we have laws. Better people have said it already, but if they're doing this now to them, and they have those rights, whether Mario Rubio thinks so or not, because he thinks he's in charge of them. If you're going to do that, you arrest them where they are and get them a lawyer and start due process. You just don't pick them up and throw them in a jail in New Orleans, Louisiana, because they're not doing anything that is a threat, okay? Sending people to El Salvador without due process, okay? Because they're wearing tattoos, as I heard on yet another discussion. Look at those tattoos, boy, but, that'll tell you something. That's what, and that's what we get. That's what we're getting. All the reasons that he was elected aren't as important as the things he wants. So enjoy him. And we'll see what happens next week. And I promise there'll be more. I hope in some way that when I get the word out to you, that this helps in some fashion as I kind of wander through really blithering. I am blithering. I've got a few things to read to you. A New Jersey woman is suing her homeowners association for the right to keep her emotional support chickens. I had a baby chick when I was a kid, and I just cannot imagine. They smell when they're older, and I just can't imagine. Maybe she gives them a bath. I don't know. But I can't imagine having a chicken for emotional support. I just can't. That's a big leap. I'm sure the HOA had a difficulty with it. Lori Smith claims an HOA board member approved the chickens in 2022 and says they've had such a profound impact on her well-being that she cannot, for medical reasons, comply with the new HOA order to get rid of them. They're medicine. This was a medicine I injected for a disease I had. I would fight just as hard. I can't. I'm trying to think of how a chicken would help. Maybe because they're what they are, she looks at them and says, well, at least I'm not a chicken. Bark, 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 bark. Wow. I mean, I think what she should have said is I'm keeping them for the eggs. I mean, that's the simple one. There's the punchline to that. But at least I'm not a chicken. And there's a song waiting to be sung. And Protector, for those of you out there, a new smartphone app. It's an app. You can get an app. Described as Uber with guns, lets wealthy clients hire an armed security detail with the click of a button. I won't even go into it. It's $1,000 for a 5-hour shift. and a minimum of 5,000. It's private security personnel that will serve as personal protection. That's where we're at. You can get Uber with guns. And so, I'm going to read you something next time that I wasn't sure if I was going to add it to this pile. But because need it for next time, I think you'll enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed today's, and I hope that you have a good week. I really do, and that you enjoy the basketball, and that your brackets win. And if you're betting, I hope you're winning there. And I hope if you've got a favorite baseball team and get out to the stadium, enjoy it and listen to the sounds of baseball rather than the sounds of the howling, because the howling's not going to go away. Not for a while. And we can watch, see if the legal system holds. I believe it will, but I've always believed that the law really supersedes the president. It supersedes Congress, and you have the laws, and then you try to change the laws in order to make them better. That's what you do, and make it possible for us to thrive and go on and be the best that we could be. I hope you understand how much I truly enjoy this time that I get to spend with you here in my humble public cable access studio. And we've got a number of the rants this week will be from Canadians, because I think it's time to hear from them. There'll probably be more in the future as I get to go back through and they hear these, and I'm sure we'll hear from some more. And so thank you. Thank you. Having just come back from Canada last week, I thought it'd be nice to read a few Canadian rants that have come in. So here they go. From Marc McDonald. We've learned that there are a bunch of long-term side effects from getting COVID. Issues with lungs, the heart, and I think I know of another one. Liking fucking Nickelback. When the fuck did this become a thing? Remember years ago when we collectively decided this band fucking sucks donkey balls? They were literally booed at the halftime show in Detroit 15 years ago. But now they are on fucking rock stations. I literally heard them on the radio after a song by 9 Inch Nails. The only conclusion I can come to is that all those who got COVID had their brains changed as an unfortunate result, and they spontaneously started loving this garbage band. Kind of like when someone has a traumatic brain injury and wakes up speaking a foreign language and can no longer communicate with their loved ones. Mark, I've enjoyed that. I used to have Nickelback in a joke, and I didn't even know who they were, but it worked. I think somebody told me, use Nickelback. And I didn't know they were liking them again. Well, it's a good thing the joke's passed. From R.J. Bodden. If no one said it yet, welcome to Toronto. Just a heads up. When the media tells you Canada is in a trade war with the United States, don't read too much into it. We're not. We're in a trade war with Donald Trump. We love you crazy Americans. We hate these stupid retaliatory tariffs. We don't want to impose them, but when a jealous 80s throwback douche starts shit for no reason, we got to respond. Sorry. I mean, can you believe this guy thinks trolling sovereign nations, actual allies, is some kind of genius move? That man ate a lot of paint chips as a kid, I'm telling you. When you head back, let everyone know that if they feel like their state should secede from the Union, we're happy to deal with them on a state-to-state basis. We're not greedy fucks up here. No one needs to become a part of Canada, although I think a solid argument can be made for Puerto Rico joining. We could use the warm port and passport-free vacation destination. And they could use a decent publicly funded healthcare system, a functioning disaster response team, and some cool-ass Tim Hortons franchise opportunities. Think about it. And get back to us, Puerto Ricans. This time next year, you could be rolling up the rim to win. On a personal note, Lewis, don't forget your complimentary case of Canadian iced tea when you leave. We'll even throw in a free bottle of metformin in a Pez dispenser for the inevitable diabetic coma. Because really, who the fuck wants to start a cold, soggy tea bag without flavor, eh? Eh? Fucking that up. I can't believe it. Good luck with that president of yours. He looks like a fucking purse. Thank you, RJ Bodden. And thanks for realizing it's him, not us. There's some of us, some of the guys hanging out with him, some of the white guys worried about the cash flow. God, that it will have no effect on, except screwing the American people. Thanks, RJ. Bruce Hafner had something he wanted to get off his chest. He saw me in Montreal, by the way. I wanted to share a little anecdote with you about our beautiful Quebec roads. So here goes. Last week, I'm driving down this street in my neighborhood that's basically been a pothole buffet for the last year. Like if potholes were a sport, this street would have won the gold medal, the silver, and probably the entire fucking podium. Every morning, it's a new adventure to see which of my car's parts will decide to give up that day. I hit this one pothole, which I'm pretty sure can be classified as a small crater at this point, and my car practically shot into the air like a goddamn rocket. The whole thing lurched, the tires screamed for mercy, and I swear I saw my suspension go, nope, and just straight up resigned from its duties. I could feel my spine go boing, like I was on some sort of twisted carnival ride. And of course, my car decided it would be the perfect moment to let me know that my shocks are officially a joke. The noise, oh, it was beautiful. A combination of metal groaning, rubber screaming, and a faint, I'm done, whisper from the engine. Meanwhile, my dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree, and I'm pretty sure my GPS is now considering giving up and relocating to a completely different planet. So I pull over, and of course, there's that one guy walking his dog who just has to comment. Hey, man, you okay? He asks, all concerned. Oh, yeah, I respond, trying to keep my cool while internally planning a funeral for my car. Just living the dream, you know, really enjoying these luxury roads. Probably going to send the city a thank you card. Dear Pothole Fairy, thanks for turning my car into a vibrating massage chair I didn't ask for. And let me tell you, the moment I get out and look at the damage, I can't even see the pothole anymore. It's like it ate the entire front end of my car. Oh, perfect, I mutter. The potholes won this round. What do you want? A trophy or my firstborn child? But hey, at least I've got a really good excuse now to avoid doing anything productive that day. The potholes made sure of that. P.S. I'm a fucking driving instructor. Bruce, I'm saddened by your trouble, but that was really quite delightful. That was, if a rant could be delightful, that was quite delightful. Thank you. From John Corchelli. Thanks for coming back to Toronto, but I feel I should apologize for the condition of our city. The ongoing construction is one big, fat pain in the ass. Holy fucking hard hat. If they're not building another condo, they're fixing the sidewalks. If they're not fixing the streetcar tracks, they're replacing the 100-year-old water main, often on the same street. As for the gridlock due to closed roads, don't get me started. I know this important work has to be done to maintain our so-called world-class status, but why, for the love of God and country, do they have to do all this work all at the same time? It's making me crazy. When I go out for my daily walk, I feel compelled to wear a hard hat, steel-toed boots, and a bright reflective vest so that I don't get clipped by a crane or slapped with a shovel. And the mud, dust, and noise is especially annoying. Perhaps I should don an N95 mask too. So I apologize for the state of Toronto right now, but it's not likely to get any better as the snow melts, leaving behind a crust of dangerous materials stored since last year. Only one question remains. When the fuck are they gonna finish? Corchelli. I'm sorry, John. That was from John Corchelli, Toronto. In the audience in Toronto. And thanks for that. No need to apologize. It still looks better than New York in terms of construction. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, John, if that gives you any comfort. Maybe you guys snuck some of the money. Maybe that's what he's upset about. You snuck some of Biden's money away from him and you're using it for infrastructure because we forgot how. Thanks. This comes to us from Dear Lewis Black. So formal, Edward. Let me tell you about my neighbors who are Canadian snowbirds. You know the type. They spend 6 months a year down south soaking up the sun, dodging our ice-covered streets, and enjoying the sweet taste of the Florida sun, thinking the rest of us up north is insane. That is, until the orange-faced, Twitter-raging, friendship-betraying Russian spy turned on them. And I'm not surprised or dismayed that he did so. I personally think they must have drank too much of the Kool-Aid in Florida. You see, these people love Trump. They praised him at every barbecue, nodded along to his rants on Fox News, and made sure I knew that his way was the right way. And now they have to register like criminals just to keep their sun-burnt asses on U.S. soil. They need paperwork, tracking numbers, and proof of registration just to exist in their home away from home. Sound familiar? Because 1938 Germany does. I'm just spitballing here. Has America ever fought against anyone who set up a system where people had to carry special documents to be monitored, controlled, and ultimately pushed out? Just asking. These fine, patriotic, Trump-loving neighbors of mine are suddenly realizing that their freedom-loving, America First hero just told them to get in line or get out. And guess what? They're getting out. They're selling their place because they can't handle it anymore. And while I normally love this kind of karmic justice, and it brings me joy, I have one major issue with it. I hate my neighbors. These are the people who peek through their blinds like unpaid government agents, keeping tabs on my every move. They're the type who report you for putting out the garbage on the wrong day, but turn a blind eye to their own nonsense. And now, thanks to Trump's policy, they'll be here all year long. So, Lewis, I ask you, is there a specific word in the English language for feeling absolutely no sympathy for someone suffering, yet simultaneously resenting that suffering because it directly makes your life worse? If not, maybe you can make up one. You're the professional here. Enjoy the rant. I'll be over here closing my curtains and avoiding eye contact for the foreseeable future. Best, an extremely annoyed Canadian. I can see that. Oh, please don't read my name. I honestly think my wife might get worried they listen to you. I doubt it. And so do I. So I read your name, and I apologize for that. But if they do listen, then maybe you'll have something to talk about. Maybe that'll be the breakthrough. That'll be, as we say, the icebreaker. Thanks for that. I don't know what the word would be except screwed, but that's not really the right word for no sympathy yet for someone suffering, yet resenting the suffering. I'm not sure. That's an interesting conundrum. If someone in the audience could send in a word for that, I'd be obliged. But I really appreciate that. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me. Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast.